I'm Brian Van, SportBikeTractor.com, and today we're going to install a set of Lightech Chain Adjusters on our 2015 Yamaha YZF-R1 STG project bike. These are gorgeous and they are very precise. Each rotation of this, right, listen to that click. It's like adjusting a shock clicker. Each rotation of that moves this less than 1 millimeter and it locks itself into place, okay? So it can't just freewheel and spin. By installing these, you're able to get very precise adjustment of the chain, okay? Because you can dial both sides in to exactly the same spot. Also, you're able to select the color you want that's going to best accent your motorcycle. It keeps the axle blocks captive as well. There's no axle blocks to deal with when you change your tire, okay, because they are part of the chain adjusters. So we definitely have some benefits picked up performance-wise, adjustment-wise, not to mention they have an incredibly high amount of bling factor, okay? So we're going to run you through what it takes to install this part right now. What do I need? We need a rear stand, which I have right here. You're going to want to have spools on the bike. They also have some lifter hooks that are available, right, as an option after you have these installed, so you can choose to do that as well. Let's go ahead and lift the motorcycle up. We're going to need to take the axle out of the bike. Got another new tool that I've been using here for quite a while. It's the all-new Pit Crew tire wedge. Holds the wheel in place while you're servicing. If you're changing tires, it means you leave that there, pull the tire out, and when you roll it back in, it holds everything in place for you. It's very convenient. I'm going to go ahead and loosen up the axle. Very basic hand tools for this project. If you are not comfortable working on your own motorcycle, take it in and have a technician do it for you, right? It's very important it is done correctly. Stock axle block, we will not be reusing that. Go ahead and remove the axle. Next up, we'll be pulling out the stock chain adjuster bolts. Those will not be reused. Save all your stock hardware. You never know what the future may hold. So once you get it out, keep it, even the chain adjuster blocks. Once I do this, I'm going to clean up the cutout here in the swing arm. Right? I want to make sure we don't have any debris that's going to be behind our chain adjuster. That could influence the position it sits in and negatively impact the chain adjustment. You definitely don't want to do that. So to clean it up, I'm going to use a rag, a little brake cleaner. Make sure all those surfaces are free of debris. Okay, so this chain adjuster can sit flush against it. And let's go ahead and grab the adjuster. We need to get out the bolts for the rear mount here. Comes with all the necessary hardware. We will be using thread locker on all of our bolts. First thing we'll do, slide that in place, take a look at it, and you can see this is precision, right? This fits in here nice. You can feel it's flush against the swing arm there. I'm going to start by installing the bolts here in the back. I'm not going to tighten these up all the way. We're just going to go ahead and get them started. Okay, because it's going to be important that we get the forwardmost one tight first. You don't need a ton of thread locker, just a little bit is going to get the job done. Get the forward-most mounting bolts here. We have to back the chain adjuster off all the way. So I can get this axis, I need to get this bolt started here. I'll run it in as far as I can. Before I use the Allen wrench on it. To give myself a point of reference too, I kind of compared the position of the axle with the chain adjuster before I began the job, right? And that's just going to allow me to kind of dial this in and get it to a spot where we're going to be pretty close when we begin putting it back together before we dial the chain in. Get this backed off all the way to open that up so we can get our Allen wrench in. We have to use a standard Allen here. Slide that a little bit. Come back here. And torque this all the way. Go ahead and snug this all the way, and then remember, once that thread locker grabs hold, that will keep everything in place. Let's go. Okay, we're on to the other side of the bike now. This is one of the nicest machine parts I think I've ever installed. Phenomenal job they do on this. When it comes to these bolt-on parts like that, Lightech is, without a question, one of the most prestigious and high-end brands available in the world. I mean, you'll see that stuff in the MotoGP paddock. It's phenomenal stuff. Okay. Once again, we're going to get in there and just clean any debris out. We don't want anything in between the chain adjuster and the swing arm. Got this piece ready to roll. Slide it in place, like so. We have a thread locker here. Put them in there finger tight, and then we'll put the fixture on the back, those fasteners. You're able to get all this done without actually removing the wheel all the way if you also own a pit crew tire winch. Of course, we have those on the site. They sell like crazy every single day. not going to tighten these, just going to run them down close. So I want to tighten the front one first. I draw that in there. Down. Good and snug. I'm going to snug these up. I didn't show it on camera, but I did use a little brake cleaner to clear out that excess thread locker. And now we will rotate this Lightech chain adjuster. So I've got it at essentially the same position I do the other side. And that's right where I've got it. You can see those are very finite adjustments. Now we're ready to slide the axle back into place. See how close I got it. And you can see that that is a very precise fit the way the axle goes through the chain adjuster on both sides actually. Give a little tap there, just use the heel of my hand. That is the first time it passed through there, and it was pretty darn tight, okay? From here, come over and take a look at the chain tension. That's in the same position where I had it. I tend to run my chain to the loose side, right? Being on the racetrack with it, I like the suspension to be able to move freely. Right, so if anything, I always err to the loose side. And you look at the way this wheel's in there too, there's like hardly any play, so that adjustment is pretty finite. What I do like to do, anytime I tighten the rear axle, is I like to wedge a wrench in between the sprocket and the chain. It just forces the axle into that forwardmost position. I think that's something I'm going to keep doing even with these in place. I'm reusing the stock axle as well as the stock axle nut. Okay, I've got them both in the same position. And the chain alignment still looks really good. I do also have a tool that kind of measures, right, the chain alignment that I'll put on the sprocket and take a look. There you have it. There are the Lightech chain adjusters installed on our 2015 Yamaha YZF R1 STG project.